This is it, what? Fettuccine with the team, we getting lit. What? Got it rolled up, now who really tryna hit? One, puff, puff, then we pass. Then we pass. Then we pass.
Oh, snap.
Brow, 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 brow.
Oh, bitch.
Anybody could get it.
That ain't fair. Get that horsey back her hair.
Hey. What's good, homie? What's poppin'?
We back with
good?
another one. We good out here. You refilled my drink. Thank you for refilling my drink.
Come on, man. You know I used to pour them libations for about a year and a half.
That's why I feel like
2 years.
You were kind of an expert with it. I just bring the things and you just do what you do.
Yeah. Got me going back in one of my old bags.
My old bag.
You know what I'm saying? It's cool though, because I still got them. They still hanging over the shoulder.
All right.
You know what I'm saying? I pull them out as needed.
Pull them out as needed. You got your catch.
Yeah, man.
You got your coach bag.
Yeah, man. All of that. Little clutch.
You know what I'm saying? A little clutch.
Little, you know what I mean?
You got your little
little duffel, little book bag, knapsack,
LV situation.
A little fanny pizzle.
You know what I'm saying? Fanny.
You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? You a little handy fanny.
Put a pickle in the middle, not the fanny.
Yeah, man. Come on now. You already know who it is. It's your man EarthTone.
And your man, the real Peasy, holding you down with the right dose of the highest notes.
Yeah, it's the Herbal Tea Podcast, episode 67.
67?
You know,
already?
Man. You know, old, yeah.
Shit.
You know, yeah.
Shit.
We out here with it. 67. Y'all been rocking with us all that time. Still here. We appreciate it. You know what I'm saying? Giving it up for the Q Plus community and all of that. And
it's a beautiful thing.
This is a cute little addition to the family that we throwing in.
It's a new situation we got going on. So we kind of throwing a little bit of different elements. We call them micro segments for y'all.
Micro segments.
You might remember one that we did during 420. We kind of brought you a little something new. I believe it was a vintage vibe situation.
Vintage vibes. Yep.
And we also had the needle drop, which,
dropping.
you know, was kind of new, but we kind of dressed it up for y'all.
Yep.
So we have a new one to tell y'all about this time around.
A new debut.
Doing debut.
Ow.
We call this one First Listen. So this is when we hand select a new tune, big tune, from another Q Plus artist at random. You know what I'm saying? Since y'all are popping out here, y'all got joints dropping like out the wazoo.
All over the place, left and right and left.
So we can't always, you know, we like to review as much as we can. So with this one, the first time, what we do is we take the song and we give it a listen for the first time. We don't listen to it as soon as it come out. If we never heard it before, we decide, okay, we're going to listen to it. And we're going to give our first thoughts.
Make sure we don't listen to it until right before we about to record.
Exactly. Period.
And we debut it together.
We debut it together. First listen. We're not listening to it beforehand like we do the reviews. We're listening to it on the spot pretty much.
Fresh
right
ass.
Before we film this.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? So the first song that we're bringing for the first listen.
Ooh, this is exciting.
You know what I'm saying? Can I get a drum roll? It is going to be none other than the illustrious Tyler, the Creator.
Oh, okay.
Or Tyler Okanma.
Oh, okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Going with the professional government.
I think he's going by that by now.
That's what he's doing? I like it.
He's going to switch into the government. But
listen, if he like it, I love it.
Right. So he's Tyler, the Creator for now. He hasn't officially said so, but he's been talking about it. But anyway, he's got a new song, which actually is from the re-release. Of the album we reviewed last year, Call Me If You Get Lost. Single added as a bonus track called... I guess
somebody got lost and called him. So
somebody got lost, right.
Okay, got it.
And they call him from a payphone. And so he's getting back to them with a jam called Dogtooth. That's one of the gems.
Okay.
And I'm going to let you go ahead and kick your shit first.
Okay. Well, I got to say, I love the title, first and foremost.
Do you love the title?
Dogtooth. It's just goofy. It's just some goofy shit. Like, what is he talking about? Dogtooth. I mean, so we heard the joint. We listened to it, ran through it. First listen, fresh ears.
Right.
Had to give it a grade on the spot.
What's the grade? What you giving it?
The beat is jamming. I fuck with the beat. It's rocking. It give me a jazzy little feel. The drums is kind of hard. They giving you those like galloping, running drums feel, but like still a 90s program Pete rock swing to it.
My bad.
I like the joint. He ain't really. All right, so I gave it a 48% mid.
You gave it a 48 mid? Stop. Wait, what? What?
You gassing it. I gave it a 48% mid. It was cool. Like I like the beat more than anything. The performance of it, he going in. He's like, the flow's a little cool. He ain't doing nothing crazy. He kind of not, he's not letting the beat go a little bit. It's like a kind
of bulldozing over.
Yeah, like he going in, but he not saying much. Like I ain't really pick out no ear popping lines. And mind you, this is just fresh ears, first listen. Mind you, keep in mind the title. But I ain't really hear no metaphors. I ain't really hear no lines. I didn't really hear no references to Dogtooth. I really didn't get no concept behind it. He was kind of just rapping and talking. It was like, all right, Tyler, like the beat is cool. The vibe you trying to set is cool, but like where you taking me, what we doing, what we talking about. This title is cool. You got my attention, but you ain't really bringing me nowhere. But right now the beat is keeping me here. I'm listening. I'm riding with it. I'm going to listen through all the way, but I ain't really take nothing home with me.
You didn't take nothing home from this listening?
Yeah, it was cool. Like, I like the beat. I would like to find an instrumental and like maybe throw something on it, but like,
oh,
no, I like the beat.
Oh, you about to
don't gas it.
You about to you about to get him on his own beat. You about to rock Sam's Revenge on him?
None of that.
You know what I'm saying?
None of that. Respect.
You about to
respect.
Battle this motherfucker just to get your name out there.
Respect to the young guy. Those days is behind me, fam. I'm just saying I enjoyed the beat, so I appreciate his ear.
Okay,
you know what I'm saying? We got similar ears.
Right.
Yeah, but that's all. I mean, 48%, man. How you feeling though? You try to throw me to the wolves first.
Listen, all right. So because
yeah, you ain't slick.
So okay, hold on. Cause the album you was feeling the album.
Okay, but this is not the album though.
This is the album.
This is different.
This is the album. This is literally the same album.
He dropped like 6 new songs.
He's doing like just like everybody else do, deluxe editions and adding on shit. So it's like a playlist.
It's a deluxe.
Which is how I felt about the album in the first place. It was excessive. It was excessive, and then just adding more
like
to
16 joints.
His album
originally,
it's got to be like 25
now it
6,
is
7, 8, 30 something.
See, now you gassing it.
It's giving Chris Brown.
Now you running
Chris Brown.
Now you
like
running away with it. Now you running away with it.
All right, so this song I gave it a 89 fire. I love this.
No, you
song.
didn't.
I sure did.
Whoa!
I gave it a fire, yo.
Really?
I love the beat because so
see, I told you the beat is fire.
The beat is definitely fire.
The beat is fire.
The beat is like fire. Like Tyler produced motherfucking track. He did the track, so that's kind of the thing. I read the credit on the thing. We're listening to it. It's on Tidal, and you can read credits on Tidal. So he produced the beat.
Wait, you gave it an 80 what?
I gave it an 89.
An 89.
89
wow.
fire. Because I think this is better than anything that he put on regular album. That's kind of really how I feel it. On the original album, it's better than all that stuff.
Really?
Yeah, I think this is one of the better songs.
Okay.
And we haven't listened to the rest. I haven't listened to the rest of it. The rest of the additional tracks on the deluxe.
No.
But I think this song kind of, he put the right one out to kind of reintroduce the album.
Interesting.
And I kind of feel like it's better than a lot of the material on the original album. I like the beat a lot. It's very jazzy,
okay, but other
melodic.
than the beat, like you giving me a lot of I like the beat, I like the beat. Like what we talking about?
Okay, so the bars I caught, Virgil is my chaperone. He looked from above.
I heard that.
I fuck with that. You know what I'm saying? Because he's a fashion dude.
Yeah.
Same Baudelaire kind of goes with what the world he building.
Yep.
All right. My girl looked like Zazie Beetz and Khalees. Zazie Beetz from Atlanta.
Yeah.
Fame. She's Van, and Khalees is Khalees. Like, it's not. I mean, it's not a bar, but I like that he's painting something with that. Okay. So the other one I call niggas telling their women about their bodies, how their body's supposed to be, but never take advice from a nigga with a lean gut. Okay.
I ain't catch that.
So never take advice from a man because they don't get pregnant. That's how I caught it. So like he's kind of pro.
Yeah, I caught the sentiment rights behind it, but it was like
it's not genius.
Okay,
thinking like it's not genius, but for Tyler, I think that's pretty cool. You know what I'm saying? I think it's pretty cool for him.
You got training wheels on him now.
Yeah. I guess you could say that. 89. It's a pretty good song. Pretty good beat. I would bump it.
Listen, Tyler, my man. I'm not gonna shoot
I'm very shocked.
I'm not gonna talk you down from your.
I mean,
your
listen,
89, but it was real regular for me. Like it was regular. It was cool. Like I enjoy. Like I like the beat the most about anything. And then now finding out that he produced it, I didn't even realize he produced it, so I like it even more now.
Yeah.
But the beat was dope. But
I feel like it's not.
He flowed on it. He sounded good. He sounded comfortable. But he ain't really. I don't know. I didn't know what he's talking about. I love the chant at the end. Dog tooth. Dog tooth.
That part is where the points came off because I don't
like
know
that
what
shit.
He's talking about.
Me either. But I like. That's why I like it. It's random as fuck. And it had nothing to do with nothing.
It's nonsensical, and
that's the
okay
only
too.
part of the title you get is them chanting dog tooth at the end.
That's okay.
But even the song, what was the song about?
It's a rap song.
See, you can't be. Oh man,
does it have to be about anything?
You right.
Like there's plenty of songs out there that are.
I ain't giving them 89s
that are not about really anything.
I don't know.
I could think of a couple.
It's not
of songs
a lot that ain't about nothing. That's genius.
Yeah.
Okay.
We was just singing one earlier, in my opinion, but I don't know how you feel about the song, like overall. But I mean, that's a whole nother conversation.
Wow. Okay, so I like this first listen. This was fun.
Yeah.
The first inaugural, not inaugural, but like part of the show, segment of the show. Yeah,
for the first listen.
First listen, I like it. Okay. Shout out Tyler the Creator coming back with a, you know what I'm saying, a re-up after, didn't he win a couple of awards?
He won something.
Rap album of the year, something like that.
He won a Grammy for best rap album, I think, on the Grammys earlier this year.
He did his thing, him and DJ Drama.
He sure did. Shout out to him. He sure did. And you definitely knocked the rest of that album out for me, exactly, because this is probably the only song that I would play. From Tyler, the creator.
Well, hey, I never thought I see an 89 fire from you.
See, you can't be like pigeonholing me and shit.
You're right.
You know what I'm saying?
I was wrong.
Ain't no love, a loss.
I was wrong.
It's all love. You know what I'm saying? I fuck with Tyler.
Clearly.
This song. All right. I fuck with this song. That's really it. That's really it.
Listen, we'll take it. We'll take it.
All right. So, I'm going to hit you with the streets right after this. You already know. That's what's going on.
You know I love when we go to the streets.
We finish talking about Tyler, the Creator. He's in the streets, too. We got some more heat coming out from the streets action. So, I got your little updates going on here. Shout out to y'all. All right. This Uganda situation. Uganda passed as one of the most severest known anti-LGBT bills criminalizing anything remotely related to homosexuality. All right, so just to give you a little primer, like homosexuality is already illegal in Uganda. They just criminalize it by, like, if they find you, they will kill you, basically. That's kind of what they want to do. Like the bill, they passed it to the president. The president's name, I wrote it down. I hope I wrote it down. Anyway, fuck his name. The president of Uganda, the prime minister or whatever, he hasn't signed it yet, but it's clearly like gonna be signed. And you have activists that are like coming out and, you know, they've been fighting against the bill. This is not a new thing. Okay. So Uganda's already been one of the most anti-LGBT countries in the world. In 2010, they were doing the whole kill the gays bill. They were introducing that, and it was getting a whole level of support, and it was breaking news all over the place. I wrote a song about it when I first came out as an artist, and like I had been following that since that point, and to see them 13 years later, so many years later, make good on that promise, it wasn't like hard to guess that they would do it, but to see like just as much anti-LGBT shit going on here, like to see something like that in a country like that, so very, very like heavily Christian, heavily religious, and to see it kind of actually pass, and just imagine the fear of the people who are actually homosexual living in Uganda, the terror, the horror that they might be going through right now. Like my heart just really goes out to them. And like
that's some scary shit.
It's absolutely scary. So it's really ugly out there. They've been repeatedly passing all types of versions, you know, of this bill all throughout time, and like it's just crazy going on. In the light of everything, man, that was a lot.
It's heavy, man.
It's heavy shit. But that's what's going on.
And that's around the world. Like, you got to think and sit.
And that's just one country that I'm reporting on. Think of the other ones.
Don't take for granted, like, the little bit of freedoms we do have.
Absolutely.
Because, shit.
In other news, rough segue, but here we go. Don Lemon. Anybody even know who Don Lemon is, or Don Lemon?
Yes, sir, Don Lemon.
Don Lemon canned from CNN after 14 years, since 2006. Gave him the axe just out the blue. Well, seemingly out the blue.
Yeah, something happened.
Yeah, so he's been a star on the network CNN or Capone Noriega.
Mm-hmm.
No, not Capone.
CNN1, invade NY, multiply, do that.
He's been a star on the network since 2006, gaining more notoriety, repeatedly calling out the President 45 for his lies and racism. But he's been known for making misogynistic comments on air regarding women, specifically presidential candidate Nikki Haley, running past her prime at age 51 years old. First of all, how old are you? Don Lemon, you're like not that. Like you're like in 51? Spitting distance of 50 if you're not already 50.
So he was fusing ageism at
somebody
the like,
ageism, misogyny, and all of that bullshit, and like just be doing that. And they've been calling him out on it on the network, and so like I guess they just finally gave him the axe when he said this shit. So like it kind of makes sense. I'm just saying, like, if you're gonna be a news reporter, don't be a dickhead. Like, what the fuck? Anyway, moving on. We already got other shit going on in this country right now. We got Montana, the House of the Assembly there. They locked their votes to bar one of their own legislators, Zoe Zephyr, the state's only trans legislator, just because she spoke out against them passing a bill that will criminalize trans kids from seeking surgery, gender-affirming surgery, and hormones. So, she obviously, as a transgender legislator, she would be against it. So she's in front of the House as they're introducing the bill. She's speaking out, kind of erupts, protests happen, people get arrested, and, all the ruckus, they're not really happy with it. So they're like, okay, you're going to be barred from participating in any votes for any laws for the remainder of the session, which is only until May 5th. But the whole point is they're just making a whole scene, a political scene, because that's exactly what this is the whole political charade that they're doing with all these anti-LGBTQ bills and trying to block all these trans kids and
misdirection and all of that.
Exactly. It's just making a whole thing. But the fact that they censured her and this is going on record, like it's just crazy when there's only so many LGBTQ legislators and fewer of them trans that actually make it. And then the representation is there. And then the fact that the governor's son is non-binary. And he still signs it into law. And after his son's like, saying you should be against this. Like, what's going on? Why are you endorsing this? So this is kind of like it's just a mess. And, this is just following the trend of the all the legislation that's trying to bar women from seeking reproductive care and trans people from their surgery and their hormones and kind of like affirming their identity. So, you know, it's just unfortunate turn of events.
It's weird what they spend their energy on.
Exactly.
Into blocking and like it's just
kind
crazy.
of stopping people's rights and all of that.
Yeah.
It's just unfortunate. But, you know, we definitely rooting for Zoe Zephyr. And, you know, we admire the work that she's trying to do, trying to, you know, instill a little bit of change into her community, because I'm sure she's not the only one that would want, you know, that would be supporting trans people. There's definitely a community out there that, you know, she said it's tantamount to torture. I can only imagine feeling like you are, you know, you need to affirm like who you are, but you're not able to because your state's telling you no, you can't do that with your body, even though you're 16 years old, as if you're not old enough to make decisions at 16. Anyway, moving on. Billy Porter, said to be portraying Billy Porter of Kinky Boots and Pose fame, said to be portraying James Baldwin, revered black gay writer and civil rights activist, in a biopic based on a screenplay written by Billy Porter and based on the 1994 biography written by David Leeming. Shout out to Billy Porter.
I saw that. I didn't realize Billy was writing it as well.
Yes. Okay. You know, just all the haters, shut up, relax. I can't think of anybody else who could portray a James Baldwin.
Haters, they gon' hate. There's actually a YouTube little mini series about James Baldwin that just came out, and there's another actor who played him, and I think somebody interviewed him asking him, because I guess he's the first person to portray James Baldwin as in a series or a film, right before Billy Porter is about to do it. But I didn't watch it yet, but that just came out, so that might be interesting to check out.
Shout out, you're ready. Did you hear that Noah's Ark might be coming back for real? A reboot.
Okay, come on with
that
the reboot.
Part, you know what I'm saying? The trailblazing queer dramedy and first American series featuring all black and gay characters due to return in 2023, the year of our Lord, as confirmed by creator Patrick Ian Polk.
Wow.
Shout outs. Is anybody excited about that?
I actually am. I watched Noah's Ark when it first came out.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was cool. I mean, it was kind of like the only thing around that was given what that was given at the time.
That what we needed.
So it was a bit of like, you know, the thirst traps, just like it'd be out there. That's the only thing. You could grab it. It's accessible. But it wasn't the greatest piece of content. You know, the guy was kind of cute. It was, you know, it was all right.
Shoestring budget.
It was cool for what it was. You look back at it now, it didn't age quite as well. So I'm interested to see what they're going to do with the reboot. Yeah.
Good points. I wasn't that much of a fan of the show.
Okay.
But I'm glad to say that it is coming back, because it definitely was an error.
It was an error.
It was an error. And anybody who is just like us, you know, LGBTQ anywhere on the spectrum, probably remembers the show, because it's probably literally
like when you heard about it and then you finally saw it, was like, oh, all right. Like you was kind of like,
it was like the black version of Queer as Folk.
Yeah.
We had Queer as Folk, and then we had Noah's Ark, and that was probably about it. So my name is Monique.
Okay.
Comedian Monique. You kind of passed this one to me.
What's she did?
Monique is part of the Q Plus community now.
Is she? Welcome to the family.
Shout out to her.
Come on, Monique.
Shout out to her.
Come on, Momo.
We love us some Monique. You already know.
We're the podcast.
We doing the things to do. So sweet. Come and join us.
How did we just jump into that at the same point?
I knew you were gonna. I felt
that. That is crazy.
I felt it.
Like we lit on cue. Like that was not planned. Oh my god.
Dang, mama. Shout out to Monique with your motherfucking comedy, you know, shit, your Netflix comedy situation. That
is too funny.
You with your motherfucking shit. You that bitch. You know what I'm saying? You that motherfucking bitch. So keep doing your thing, bitch, and keep motherfucking representing, because that's what you motherfucking do.
She out here. I love it.
Have you seen it?
I didn't see it.
I watched it as soon as you passed it to me. That night, I told you.
Yeah.
So
I haven't seen it yet.
It's Monique being Monique. She's at her best. Shout out.
Her. Gotta check it out. The comedy specials is like, they the new wave. Like everybody got them.
Right.
They come up on the low. You can find some really good ones that's like sleepers out of nowhere.
Listen, Netflix is looking for that content. You know, we trying to get up on Netflix. Let's get a Netflix deal
man.
coming on.
Stop playing with
we
us.
got some things to talk about.
Stop playing with us.
You're ready. And in the interest of more black content, 1001, the movie starring the illustrious Tiana Taylor.
Come on, Tiana.
Starring role.
Wow.
In a movie produced by Lena Waithe's company.
Okay.
Hillman Grad.
Interesting.
There's a lot of Q plus situation going on there. And
Come on, Lena.
And it was distributed by major distributors. So it's in some theaters. I went to go see it at Brooklyn, at BAM.
Okay.
Which is, the joint in downtown Brooklyn where, performing arts situation. And I love this movie.
Did you?
I really love the movie. I love what she did.
God.
I love like Tiana, like she. Okay.
So wait, this is not her first time acting.
It's not her first time acting. She was first in Medea's Big Happy Family.
Okay, yep.
You know what I'm saying? Byron, why are you sounding like a siren? You know what I'm saying? That was her.
Yeah.
That was her. And I thought that was going to be the last of it. But no, she is
cameo apparent?
She kind of came up real quick and did this movie and starring role. And I don't want, without giving too much of a situation, she basically is playing a mother in New York, going through the years, raising a son that she lost to foster care, but she kidnaps and raises for the rest of his childhood.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? It's
All
about
right.
like growing up with this child and kind of raising them and being there for
On
them.
the run, though?
They kind of set up a home. In the movie, they set up a whole.
Okay.
It's a whole situation because in New York, kind of shit kind of slips through the crack,
yeah.
and to be like that, you kind of get away with shit like that for a certain amount of time. So but that's kind of a little bit on the movie, and like she has the starring role, and she kind of carries, and all the actors really kind of like,
wow,
they definitely support her, and it's beautiful black talent going on there. So I want to give a big shout out to Tiana Taylor.
Come on now.
For doing your damn thing, and
Silver
Lena
Screen?
Worth for putting these stories out, these black stories.
I love it. I remember when I first heard about her putting together her company, Lena Wade.
Right.
And it was like, all right, I could tell she
what's
about to
happening. Yeah,
Yep.
for sure. So she's giving us this first look here with this, and a big shout out to her for that.
Okay.
All right, and that's what's going on in the streets.
That's what's going on in the street. It's a lot going on in the streets.
It's a lot. That's a lot.
It's a lot of heaviness in the streets.
But
listen,
we gotta bring it to you this way.
Yeah, man, it's real. It's you gotta be aware, know what's going on, and find that balance between the dark and the light. The heavy and the light. But yeah, now that we went to the streets, we're gonna do something a little different. You know what I'm saying?
We got something different going on.
We got something a little different.
Okay.
We got something a little different. We're gonna do something called, and this is another newbie we bring it to the table.
Breaking
the 90's equivalent.
90's equivalent.
Now let me break it down for you. We kind of taking artists, Q plus artists in particular, from today's generation, and we going back into a certain period of time, whether it be the golden era, the early 90's, the early aughts, 2000s. We're taking infamous periods within hip hop, R&B, music in general, black music, and we comparing it to artists of today. So we finding the doppelgangers. So we're gonna start out with the golden era, like the 90's hip hop era, right? We take an artist like Lil Nas X. Who would he be if he came out in, let's say, 95, 94, 96, something around that era? Like what artists do you think he would kind of
And we came up with
most
this.
reflect.
We came up with this because we just be having our like side conversations,
Random debates,
and we be like, yo, because there's so many more queer artists out, just like today, just like there are a lot of female artists.
A lot.
You know what I'm saying? Who would they be since they're carrying the torch now?
If they came up in a different era.
Yeah. Who would they?
Just use the imagination, having fun with it, playing with it, running wild. You know what I'm saying?
Shout out.
Making up scenarios and shit. So we're going to start out with Lil Nas X. To see he the big ticket right now as far as the Q plus. The Q plus artist. He doing his thing. Mm-hmm. I think he would be like Lil Kim. And I'm going to say Lil Kim because, of course, the obvious. You got the Lils, the Lil and the Lil.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Modest starts at first. Lil Nas came out with the Old Town Road. He was a little cowboy, humble. You didn't really know where he was from. Lil Kim came out. She was just a little sidekick. The shorty in Junior Mafia. Mm-hmm. The only female in my crew. And I kick. You know what I'm saying?
Shout out.
Before she had, the beautification, you know what I'm saying? Before she did all of that, she was just a cute little hood chick. Mm-hmm. And then the hardcore cover came out, and it was like she had the little switch. Lil Nas X, he started showing out, having a little revealing fashions. You can tell he got a stylist, you know what I'm saying? A more progressive stylist after a certain point. Award ceremonies. He pop out and show out. Lil Kim, she was known. She had moments. You know what I'm saying? She had multiple moments at multiple award shows, stopping red carpets because of what she had on, what she was doing, ass out, titties out. Lil Nas ass out with the chaps. You know what I'm saying? Like I could see the similarities.
Lil
So
Kim
that's kind of one of the ones where I'm going. You know what I'm saying? Extra at the one got that sex pop appeal, because it's hard to take sex mainstream and pop, especially from a black artist standpoint. So Lil Kim was able to do that, break those barriers. Lil Nas, he doing it as a gay black male. He on fucking MTV Awards with fucking videos with blurred signs, blurring out PPs and woo-woos, because he got male dancers dancing in showers.
Shake it for your sushi.
You know what I'm saying? Like he doing his thing, dipping it, ass naked. I'm like, all right, go ahead then. Yeah. Who else is doing it like that? I don't know.
Listen,
Sexual empowerment.
I agree.
There's a lot of things going on. Lil Nas X, Lil Kim. Where you feeling that 90s equivalent? Who you think? Who would be a good counterpart? Or somebody who's like somebody else from that era, from today? Like who would you grab and compare?
All right, so I definitely am on board with you with Lil Nas X and Lil Kim. I definitely think they represent their respective times in their era in terms of their influence. So let's talk about Doja Cat. Doja Cat, for me, Doja. We have Lil Nas X, who is Lil Kim. Doja Cat would be Eve for me.
Ooh.
Because the timing is kind of there, and Doja Cat has the pop appeal that she can sing and she can rap. Eve kind of did the same thing, but it was right. It was downplayed though, right? So Eve was definitely had a more commercially friendly sound, and like Eve or Doja Cat is perfecting that balance a lot more. They both do their thing behind the mic.
Interesting.
They kind of have conservative looks, although Doja Cat, I would say, yes, is more conservative compared to somebody like City Girls or Cardi B. I would say that just because Doja Cat is sexy and so is Eve, but that's not the number one.
Okay, that's not in the forefront.
That's not necessarily in the forefront. They'll talk about pussy.
Yeah.
Eve was talking about, pussy and fucking and sexing too. It just was very much more subdued.
Okay, got you.
That's why
I like that comparison. That's a pretty. I can't take that nothing away from that one. Eve and Doja Cat. I didn't really see that one when you was like Doja Cat. I didn't know where you was gonna go, and you shot me with that. Okay, all right. So if Doja Cat is Eve, I'm gonna go with Saucy.
Okay,
you know what I'm saying? Saucy Santana. think Saucy is Foxy Brown. I think Saucy is Foxy Brown.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Hold on. We need to smoke to that
Yeah,
one.
yeah. Go ahead and light that up.
Light this up.
I think I see Saucy as Foxy Brown.
Break
Let me
that
tell you,
one the fuck
because Saucy is like Saucy got a little bit more of the hood appeal. You know what I'm saying? A little bit more scruffy. You got the beard. You know what I'm saying? The press on nails, always ready to throw down. The Miami hot fire. You know what I'm saying? Always hot under the collar in the MIA.
Sex and broad talk without protection,
Florida,
disease and
Florida boy. You know what I'm saying? Love the hood niggas. You know Foxy loved her hood nigga. That's how she was. She had that little edge. Have a little bit of the raspiness. Saucy Santana got the raspy. It's like a more of a higher, loud growl raspy, whereas Ill Nana was more of a like before Rick Ross. She had the like that was Foxy. The Ill Nana, like she had that grunt before. You know what I'm saying? Like they got those comparisons. As far as the bars and the lyricism, the flair, the raunchiness is there. I see those similarities. I wouldn't say Saucy was as much of a lyricist as Foxy, though. You know, Foxy she had bars, but she wasn't known for being one of the top lyricists. It was more her style and her flair, you know, and her sex appeal and all of that. And Saucy as well. Like Saucy got like a very unique sex appeal that he gives off, that he has a large fan base that loves him for it. And he has a very different look, very unique. You don't really see too many butch queens, femme queens that have beards and, you know, still
rocking a dress and heels and shit.
Still rocking a dress and heels and still running around, you know, with dudes and tussling and throwing down and getting shot at and, you know, surviving shootouts and all that shit. Like, it's kind of crazy. So yeah, that's why I draw that comparison. Saucy Santana, Foxy Brown. You was kind of shocked with that one. You ain't think I was going there. You was like, You don't gag though.
I will see your Foxy Brown.
Ooh.
And raise you a Jackie O.
Oh, Jackie O?
For obvious reasons.
Ooh, interesting. Ooh, interesting. Okay.
You know what? Foxy Brown, for those that don't know, for those like, you know, maybe too young to remember, Foxy Brown and Jackie O actually had a beef.
Yep.
Little tiny, little whatever. But they really like counterparts of each other.
Jackie O.
Foxy Brown is to the north as Jackie O is to the south. Yeah. That's kind of how I was thinking.
Yeah.
That's how I was really thinking about it.
True.
So, you know, but I didn't know you was really going to come out with Foxy.
Yeah,
I thought you was going to say somebody else.
Who you thought I was going to say?
I thought you was going to say Trina. But it would, but like I said, that's too obvious too.
Yeah. I mean, I kind of thought that, but it was like, all right, okay. But that would be interesting. That would make, I mean, that could be a good one too.
See,
I can see that comparison.
I think there's somebody else that's Trina. And, you know, I guess we'll get into that. But I'm saying, like, Jackie O, like, had a moment. And I feel like that's what Saucy is having.
I like it, though. That's why I like this game, because you could kind of take it. You can make an argument for anything as long as it makes sense. You know what I'm saying? All right, so who you got? Like, who you...
All right, so the next one on the list is... Oh, since I pulled out those, I was supposed to do it the other way. But anyway, fuck it. We're going to go this way. Next one's going to be Azealia Banks.
Ooh.
And Azealia Banks, we all know her. Like this, we all know her. I'm just gonna go ahead and she might be Roxanne Shante.
Roxanne.
Yeah.
Wow.
Roxanne Shante.
Okay.
So if you don't know who Roxanne Shante is, Roxanne Shante is an early pioneer female rapper. Probably one of the first to just kind of get on the mic as a female rapper. Not the first, but like solo. So she came out with a song called Roxanne's Revenge, which was the answer to UTFO's Roxanne. Mm-hmm. So you know, and it was a whole thing in the late 80s, Roxanne Wars and all of that. Mm-hmm. So, but Roxanne Shante only really had the one song she did come out with an album, but by the time she came out with an album, it was years later, and you know the fans didn't really follow, and it was still pretty new. Nobody really know how to like market her.
Okay.
And the same thing kind of really happened to Azealia Banks.
She had
the one big song that went viral, the 212.
Yeah.
And she followed up with an album that was it was critically acclaimed, but because she had problems with her label, they didn't really know how to mess with her.
Yeah,
she's kind of a firebrand.
True.
She got dropped. They really didn't push the album.
They never really.
And she kind of just been solo doing her thing since.
That's crazy.
Like kind of with her own niche kind of community. So like that's kind of really what Roxanne. They kind of have
Okay, interesting. It's an interesting breakdown, man. I would have.
So would you agree?
I wouldn't have saw that one coming. I don't know. It makes a lot of sense the way you break it down. My only discrepancy with it is like, I feel like the era might be a little back compared to where Lil Nas is, but it makes sense.
She did come before. That was my whole thing.
Yeah, she came before.
Years before Lil Nas X came.
She did. So
this is how sense. This is how we stretch it out.
Yeah, that makes sense. Like that it's around about the gauge, but and I don't know who else would be. You know, I can't raise you, so I don't have one. It's an interesting take. I love it. All right, so with that said, I'm gonna give you Kid Ken.
Hold on, stop.
What happened?
I don't know if it's still going.
It looked like it is.
It looked like it is, but I can't tell.
Oh yeah, because you ain't all the way down, right?
I am all the way down, but it looks like it's here.
And I don't think it's maximized enough. You know what I'm saying? Like it's shortened. Like if you plus sign it, you'll see it move, I feel like. How do you do that? Because it's definitely still going. Yeah, see, you can see it moving.
It is maximum. Okay, yeah. Okay, it was maximized. That's why. All right, boom. All right. Okay, so we keep going. I just wanted to make sure it didn't stop. Check. Boop. All right. All right, so we keep going.
All right.
All right, my bad. Sorry.
Where was we at?
You was at Azealia Banks, but tell me if you agree.
Oh, yeah. Azealia Banks, yes. So
if you had anybody like else.
So I can't really, as far as the breakdown, it makes sense. I don't have a rebuttal. I mean, it's just an interesting take. It's an interesting breakdown. Like that's kind of what you have with it. That's why I love, I love the game. Where we going with it? 90's equivalent. All right. So with that said, Kid Ken. You too funny. Come on now.
Shout out to Kid Ken.
90's equivalent.
Who was his 90's equivalent?
Charlie Baltimore.
Oh shit. Wait a minute. Hold on. Wait a minute. You pulled. Okay, hold on.
Yep.
Charlie Baltimore.
That's you know what I'm saying?
That's something.
The bright hair, always. You know what I'm saying? Stay with a short bob. Kind of got that femme flashy, princess energy, but I still sting you. I still pop off.
Yeah.
Got that shorty of the click vibe, shorty of the click energy. Real petite, thin framed. Style is kind of like feisty and sexy, but still youthful and playful.
Yeah. But goes hard too.
Goes hard. Could give you a hard 16.
For real.
Could get you in a BET cypher.
Something like that.
And hold this down, hold his own weight.
Charlie motherfucker.
Yeah, like Charlie Baltimore. That's how I'm feeling. Pretty and spicy and fiery. Even like the couplets. All right, so the albums, the concept albums. Kid Ken's first 3 albums, Childish, Child's Play, and then Grown. He switched it up on you.
Oh, you followed up with
Trilogy, right?
Okay.
Charlie Baltimore, I feel like she was on that same path, so she ain't make it that far. She ain't never really. She did a private release of her first album, and they never make it to a full public release. But the album, the debut was called Cold as Ice.
Cold as Ice, right?
You know what I'm saying? So I feel like she would have kept on the same line. The next joint would have been Too Cold to Care, and then she would have been like lukewarm. You know what I'm saying? Like,
wow.
She would have kept. You know what I'm saying? I feel like that was the pathway.
That
would have been the pathway.
That would have been the triple.
Yes,
the triplet.
She would have kept it going like Kid Ken. Like it was mirror image. I saw it.
Wow.
Come on, man.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
All right.
You know
I can't argue with you on that one.
Listen, I dug deep.
You got it.
You
did it. You did that.
All right. Thank you.
You did that. Shout out to Charlie Baltimore.
Yeah, come on now.
Charlie Baltimore.
Yeah.
Iceberg Slim, the most shady.
Exactly.
Frankie Baby. All right. So the final one on my list was Young M.A.
Young Ma.
And Young M.A. came out. Okay, this one I struggle with. I actually don't know if I came up with anybody for this one. Okay, but the ones that come to mind.
Okay.
Young M.A. Okay, here's Young M.A. Young M.A. is MC Light. Young M.A. is MC Light. Because she came out, and I'm thinking like, okay, Azealia Banks came out. She came out like 2011. Young M.A. came out 2016. A few years later, Roxanne Shante. You know, the years are kind of off, but the era is the same because right before there was the explosion of female rappers, there was just Queen Latifah, Roxanne Shante.
Young Ma and Azealia was that close?
5 years apart. So, yeah.
I feel like they was further apart.
Yeah. Azealia came out late 2011 and Young M.A. came out 2016 with Ooh. So, that's, Ooh would be her I Cram to Understand You. Or her Paper Thin. So MC Light. Right.
Ooh. Okay.
You can say you love me, but you know what I'm saying? You can say you love me. How the fuck should go?
I don't remember. Don't give me the line. But she was going off.
It goes into my head like
Young Ma is MC Light. Okay. I'm not mad on it.
Yeah, Young M.A. is MC Light for me.
Okay.
Right.
Listen, man.
So before the explosion of female rappers, it was MC Light and Queen Latifah. Wow. We haven't found out Queen Latifah yet. It might just stay Queen Latifah. Young Ma, MC Light.
MC Light. There you have it. 90s equivalent. I like it, man. So we had Lil Nas' Lil Kim. We had
Doja Cat is Eve.
Saucy Santana is Fosse Brown. But got I Raised You, You Raised Me.
I Raised Her, Jackie O.
To Jackie O, which I think that might be a better fit.
Yeah. And then we got Azealia Banks.
And then we got Azealia Banks.
There's Roxanne Shante.
Roxanne. Wow. And then we had Kid Ken. Charlie B. Moore.
And Young M.A. as MC Light.
Ooh, what a roster. Okay. Well, let's see what happens next time on 90s Equivalent.
90s Equivalent. See who come up with.
Yeah, man.
Hope you enjoyed it.
Well, with that said, you know what we're going to do. We're going to have another smoking session in the smoking section. Come on now. We always gonna bring it back there.
It's back
to the herbals and the gerbils and the remedies and the remedies and the.
I've been waiting. I'm looking for the smoking advice for this time. It's been a minute.
Are you looking for it?
I'm looking for it. What's happening?
All right. Well, actually, today we just getting into what's going on in the world, what's going on in the nation. So you know, major sports. It's a big thing. We watch a lot of it. It's embedded. Major league sports. Baseball, basketball, football, hockey, tennis, the Olympics, all of that stuff. Big business.
Right.
A lot of eyes. A lot of people grow up on it. A lot of people grow up watching it, playing it. And it has a trickle-down effect. What happens in sports is also, you know, a representation of what's going on in the world. And they catching up, you know, slowly but surely. It's getting progressive. So, you know, in the smoking section, we talking about the marijuana industry, the herbal things, what's going on.
Yeah.
Ins and outs. Well, recently, the NBA just announced that they will no longer penalize their players for marijuana use.
Woo! Oh, that's across the board?
Across the board. That's a big deal. Now, this is kind of adding them to what they were already doing. So in 2020, once they did the NBA season in a bubble, they stopped testing for weed. So they weren't, turning a blind eye, but they just stopped making it a part of their random testing. When they was random testing, they was just doing it for like enhancement, performance enhancement drugs and other drugs, but they wasn't testing for weed. So they stopped that a couple years ago. And this pretty much declassified it. So it took it off the substances that are banned list. And now it takes it where they could just smoke and do what they think during the season without getting any penalties or fees for smoking weed, testing positive or whatever. So that's new. That's a big deal. Previously, the first time you get caught with weed in your system, you get a mandatory treatment and counseling program that you have to go through. Second offense, that's just on the first offense. Second offense, you get $25,000 fine. And then your third time, your third strike, you get a 5-game suspension. This was in the NBA. So all of that's turned around to where the point now you can't even be penalized for smoking weed. And they actually looking into it to kind of start getting sponsors, to start looking at it as a treatment,
Follow the money.
as an alternative to opioids for pain relief. So it's a lot going on with this big business. But that's just a sign, like I said, a sign of the times, a sign of what's going on in America and the nation. These major league sports, they're taking a progressive look and a lead as far as what's going on with the future of marijuana. But comparing that and looking at what's going on in other, sports, what are they doing with their marijuana policies? Well, the WNBA, they still have it banned. They ain't playing none of that. They ain't trying to hit none of that shit. You still can't smoke weed during the season, off season. If they test it, they find you in your system. Nah, we're not playing that. So theirs is still like the old NBA, like they didn't change anything yet. And the whole Brittany Griner situation. Yeah. She wasn't, she's a WNBA player. In the off season, a lot of these WNBA players, because of, not lack of pay, but they don't get equal pay. They don't get paid what the men get paid for the NBA. Right. They have to supplement their income. So they go overseas and they play in these leagues. And she was in Russia doing just that and got caught with the THC cartridges in her bag. And, they had her out there for 9 months trying to keep her hostage, locking her up. They was trying to give her 9 years, it looked like. She was facing like 9 or 10 years or something crazy like that. Yeah. She eventually, made it back over to the States. But, that was a whole situation. But, the WNBA, they don't play that. They still got a ban. The NFL in 2020-21 season, they allow weed use during the off season, but not during the season. So now you could smoke it, once the season ain't going down. But once you back in season, you can't get caught with it in your system. They consider it, you can't do it. You're man. The Major League Baseball, now they removed weed from the banned substance list in 2019, so they've been on it, been ahead of the curve. You could still be penalized if you appear high during games, practices, meetings, or workouts. So you can't just OD and come in with red eyes and be smelling all crazy. But they're not really testing you for it. It's not on the banned substance list. So they're a little bit more of ahead of the curve than even the NBA was in that standpoint.
Makes sense.
In hockey, the NHL, they don't classify weed as a banned substance at all. And players are not penalized for positive drug tests. The only, penalty or kind of suggestion or reprimand that you could get is if you test abnormally high for your urine with, marijuana, they'll offer admission to a program for you. And you can either accept it or deny it. If you decline it, no harm, no foul. But if you accept it, it's anonymous and it won't even, the NHL won't even know you've been admitted to the program. So that's about as far as it goes with the NHL. So you figure Major League Baseball and hockey, I would figure those were the two most conservative sports. Right. And they seem to be the most progressive when it comes to marijuana policy. So, go figure. The Olympics, they don't play none of that shit. They got everything banned during competition. During the off season, believe it or not, you can partake in marijuana. They don't test during the off season, but once you in competition season, you can't do it. You sure you heard the story of Sha'Carri Richardson.
Right.
She was disqualified in 2021 after, tested positive for marijuana. And she had just killed it in the Oregon trials for the Olympics. So she got disqualified right after that. And she was hoping that, her disqualification would shine a light, on the marijuana policy and the discrepancies that they have towards these athletes. And, they want to use it. They want to smoke in peace, be able to do their thing. It's no harm, no foul. It's not proven to be any kind of performance enhancement from smoking marijuana. So we'll see how they catch up. But for right now, the Olympics ain't playing it. Everybody else, though, all of the major league teams and, sports in the nation, they seem to be catching up. So that's a good sign. I like to see it. It's on the up and up.
All right, word.
You know what I mean? And that's what we have in the smoking session. So how you feeling about that? Did you ever play sports like in high school? And
I never played sports, and I never really thought about all the laws and all the different the different penalties and the fees and fines and all of that with the different sports. I kind of just thought in my mind that they all kind of were on the same page and all like either did or didn't. I didn't realize it was broken down to the different major organizations of each sport, which I guess kind of makes sense. Did you find out anything about soccer?
I didn't look into soccer. Nothing came up, but I'm sure they might be on the conservative end because that's probably one of the biggest sports globally in the world. And
like FIFA and all that shit.
They don't play all that shit. But you never know. Everybody's kind of, seem to be coming around at their own pace. But slowly but surely, everybody seems to be making the same decision. So I wouldn't be surprised if they're not already. In a few years, they're going to be opening up their marijuana policies to, loosen down those walls and let athletes partake. But in other words, in that news, we're going to partake because it's legal in NYC.
Period.
And we're going to end it like we always like to end it on a motherfucking high note.
This is it, what? Fettuccine with the team, we getting lit, what? Got it rolled up, now who really tryna hit one? Puff, puff, then we pass.